Welcome back into inning number 4 of Clearing the Bases, where our takes might be god awful, but at least they're not as awful as the Mets.
Okay.
I'm Nick.
Man.
I'm from Rounding Third, and we're going to introduce everybody. Rob from NYMLB Talk. How are you doing tonight, Rob?
Well, I'm all right. The Mets have a lead for a couple of minutes, but that'll change.
Of course. And Chris from NYMLB Talk, currently kicking my Red Sox butts. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. 4-0 Yankees. Just a little update. Top of the 7th.
Yeah, great.
Not rubbing it in.
We got Lorenzo from Big League Takes. How are you doing tonight, Lorenzo?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here.
Love it. And finally, Jason from Romantic About Baseball. How are we doing tonight, Jason?
Doing great, Nick. I'm really suffering watching the Phillies and Mets struggle so badly. It's tough. It's real tough.
Yeah, my fourth place prediction is not looking too good, is it, Jason?
Not right now, but our bullpen is trying to give this one away tonight. So we'll see. What happens.
Great. All right, we're going to go through the rules and regulations. You guys can join us in the chat for your takes as well, but here we go. So how it works, I will present a question for each round. The panelists will give their takes, and I will award points for the best takes, unique takes. I am very lenient on my points, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, but you're welcome. What earns points is strong arguments, unique perspectives, and conviction in your take. And scoring does not carry over from each episode, but you do get a point if you have the most. You get a win if you get the most points by the end of the episode. And currently we have 3 people with 1 win, and Rob looking for that exclusive first win. So we will see what happens tonight. All right. So here are the 3 categories for tonight. We have 3 questions on first base. We have 2 questions on second base and 1 question on third. And then the bases will be clear. So we have game aesthetics on first base, who's hot, who's not on second base. And third base, a little different. We have been doing Hall of Fame, but it will be a what if question. So let's start off with the first one. Start off at first base. First question. On the heels of Jarren Duran flipping off a fan, this is his 3rd instance of him kind of having a negative fan interaction and him flipping the bird and running back to the dugout. Wasn't a huge altercation, but my question is, should fans be held accountable for words they yell at players? Rob.
Let's just put it this way. If it's racial or sexist or anything like that, yes, of course. But if it's anything else other than that, some of these players some of them got to grow a set. It's been going on forever and forever, right? And this is a great time to ask me this question right now, because the way the New York Mets are playing, whatever is being yelled at that team right now, they deserve it. So should they be held accountable, fans? Only for the really bad stuff. Other than that, they've paid their money. Let them say whatever they want, especially if you have a 12-game losing streak.
Fair enough. Chris?
You know what? As long as it's for the opposing team, I don't like booing my own team, so I'm against that. But I think I'm with Rob on this. Yeah, as long as it doesn't go racist or anything too personal, where there's death threats and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think they should be held accountable. The death threats, stuff like that, or something racial and really bad in that sense, sure. But everything else, I think it's fair game. Just like the players, I think it's fair game for them to say something back to the players if it's the right situation. But that's how I look at it.
All right, Lorenzo?
Yeah, just in line with Rob and Chris on this one. But yeah, fans should be held accountable once it crosses that line. So like booing, heckling, that's part of the game, right? Those guys paid their tickets to boo the opposing team, to heckle the opposing team, have fun with it. But once it turns personal or obscene, or they're talking about family members that have passed, they're talking about the wives and kids of the players that are playing, that's crossing the line. That can't happen in today's game. And you've had players say, yeah, there's been racist comments made at me. They brought up my family. They brought up my mother that passed away last year. That's not fandom, right? Every team will say that's not my fans when they do that. So making sure that gets out of the game. And I would love to see when it is a fun heckle, when the players do heckle back, that is a fun time when they get involved both ways. But yeah, I absolutely think that they need to be held accountable and cross the line. Thank you.
All right, Jason.
So 2 things I would say. Number one, yes, these players have to have thicker skins. I'm with Rob on that. Why is a Major League Baseball player concerned with what Joe Schmo in the stands is saying, who's probably never played professional sports his entire life? There is a line there, but as far as accountability, I think other fans need to police that a little bit. Like players police their game and fans in the stands. Look, if I'm sitting there with young kids and the guy's using 4-letter words constantly, I'm going to say something. And if somebody crosses the line talking about somebody's mom or something like that, and it's just getting out of hand, other fans need to speak up and say, hey, shut the heck up. You know, I mean, this is not appropriate. So I'm kind of on both sides there. The accountability from the fans, I don't think, security needs to get involved unless it just gets ridiculous. And then also these players got to have thicker skins. Why do they care what this guy in the stands is yelling at them? I mean, I know it can be harsh, but you're out there playing Major League Baseball and he's in the stands. Move on.
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys all points for this. So I think the Jarren Duran situation's a little unique, right? Because the Red Sox released the documentary on Netflix, and he comes out and pretty much tells the public about his mental health, right? And the state of his mental health. And the fans are yelling at him to go kill himself after he rolls over at second base, right? So to me, that's crossing the line, right? And maybe that's me with biased Red Sox glasses on or not. I don't know. But to me personally, that's crossing the line. I don't think I would ever tell somebody that. So I think that's where the accountability needs to come in. But I mean, all great points. Like in one way, they do have to toughen up, right? Like who cares what he says? Like I know he's facing an interpersonal battle, which we can't control, but like toughen up a little bit, but also the guy needs to be held accountable. So I know kind of a wishy-washy answer out of me too, but I think everyone's got great points. So,
hey,
nice
Nick,
job.
just to, I'm not trying to like the points are, I'm just saying, Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, Willie May, these guys heard a lot of terrible things. And you know what they did? They went out and became Hall of Fame baseball players. So you're absolutely right. None of us would ever say that to anybody at a baseball game or anywhere else for that matter. But I would damn sure say something to that fan if I was at that game. I would say, hey, that's out of line, man. That's inappropriate. So, yeah, I agree. But, there have been players who've been through it and survived it.
Yeah, but because guys have endured bad doesn't mean that it's okay. That bad needs to get out of here.
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying you can get through it as a Major League Baseball player. Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I think, we talk about the generational gap, right? Those guys were built different than kids are today, right? And let's face it, the guys that we are watching on TV are kids, right? A lot of them aren't even developed all the way mentally. Like they're still trying to figure out who they are because they've just been baseball players their entire life, right? It's such a generational divide, but I totally agree. I mean, what Robinson, Aaron, all those guys faced was much, much worse. But
yeah,
you make a great point. The Mets are still trying to figure out if they're Major League Baseball players, period. So I get it. You're right.
That's true.
yeah.
Kick him while he's down, baby. I love it.
That's it. That's coming from a Braves fan. What do you expect?
Yeah, my bad, man. My bad.
Anyways, all right. So into question number 2. On the heels of the Ronaldo Lopez and Jorge Soler brawl, are brawls good for the game or are they just dumb? It's very kind of polarizing where people don't want to see it. There's people that are like, oh, I love it. It reminds me of like a hockey fight. So where do you guys stand on baseball brawls? Chris?
I think they're good for the game, but I also think they're dumb, if that makes any sense. It's dumb because you know what? Your star player or whoever is fighting in there could get hurt and lose, and be out for the season over a stupid fight. But on the other side, brawls are very good for the game because the fans love to see them, number one. And number two, it also shows that their rivalries are still there, right? Because what do we see before each game, after the game? The guys are chatting it up. They're high-fiving each other. They're exchanging jerseys sometimes, all that stuff. You would never have seen that 20, 30 years ago, right? now it's like everybody's friends, because of free agency, everybody's moving around. So you don't have the rivalries anymore. But I think seeing the brawls kind of takes you back a little bit to those days, to the heated rivalry days. I don't know if we got them as much as we did years past, but I think when we do see a brawl like that, not that that was a rivalry game between the Angels and the Braves.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a quote unquote rivalry game, but it kind of takes you back to that, and I think fans love to see that. So I think it is good, and it's also dumb.
Fair, Lorenzo.
Yeah, love that take, because brawls are good for the game in just very small doses. Like what just happened with this big brawl in Anaheim, it grabbed attention from Major League Baseball, right? It was on the top of every sports show, had baseball at the forefront of it as we're entering NBA playoffs. They were talking about Major League Baseball as the first thing everybody talked about. And we need that edge for us to bring more eyes to the game for 162 games a year. So that's great for that aspect. And it also helps fans connect with the games, because when you see these guys with that much emotion with the brawl, you're like, oh man, these guys hate those guys as much as I do, right? Because it's so regional in baseball that you hate that team, like that rival team again. So when the Yankees and Red Sox have their brawls once every 10 years, it gives you that like extra edge as a fan. You're like, oh my goodness, this is great. But again, just to Chris's point, they are dumb. Most of the time, nothing good comes out of it. A player could get hurt of it. You're going to get a good guy suspended for a few games. That's not good. This isn't Friday Night Fights, but once, twice a year, it is good for the game. Any more than that, it's a true problem.
All right, Jason.
Yeah, I agree with what they've said. I would just say, specifically to that Angels-Braves brawl, on the positive side, I've never seen a fan base rally around a manager like the Braves fan base rallied around Walt Weiss when he speared Jorge Soler during that brawl.
So
he earned the love and adoration of the entire fan base that night. So that definitely a positive. Overall, I agree with what Chris said and what Lorenzo said. It's both dumb and popular. On social media, as soon as that brawl happened, it was all over the place. Like, people love it. Young people love it. So anything that's good for the game and attracts eyeballs, I'm good with. There's two things I feel like that we're going to talk about that are fabric of the game that we don't need to lose. And one is we've kind of lost a little bit is umpires and managers going at it, right? You don't see it as often because of instant replay. And then brawls. I think they're both good for the game. They're part of the fabric of baseball. So, yeah, I agree with the other takes. Good and dumb at the same time. You don't want injuries.
Yeah. All right, and Rob.
I agree with the guys, of course. Listen, a little brawling never hurt anyone. And basically, it really usually doesn't hurt anyone because it's more everybody running off of the bench, from the bullpen, and hardly any punches are thrown. But a good baseball brawl is, it gets the crowd excited. Everyone's going crazy. I'm going to bring a quick example. A long time ago, the 86 Mets, right? They were fighters. That team was always getting into fights. Ray Knight with Eric Davis. The crowd went nuts, and it was just fun to watch. Now, if it's something like Pedro throwing Zimmer down, well, that's dumb. But other than that, I think it's fun. Everybody likes a little brawl in baseball now and then.
Yeah, again, I think I'm going to give you all 5 points for that. I agree with you guys full-heartedly. It's a spark of emotion, and John Temple says depends on the situation, 1,000%. And these guys have such high velocity now that if you're hitting me intentionally, like you're not just hitting me to plunk me anymore. Like, you're trying to hurt me, dude. You're throwing triple digits. Like, and even if you hit me in the rib cage, I'm coming after you, man. Like, I don't care, right? But to all your points, the fans love it. As soon as it shows there's some emotion, because at some points, aspects of the games, these guys seem like robots, right? So to see the human element kind of come, oh, he's pissed, here he goes, and then boom, that jet out to the mound, like people go nuts for it. So yeah, absolutely. 5 points apiece across the board. Nice job. Real quick before we go on. Favorite brawl ever. Ryan and Ventura doesn't count because obviously. Favorite brawl, Rob, go.
Ray Knight, Eric Davis, the one I just said. It was great.
All right, Chris.
Yankees Orioles at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, the one that went in the dugout.
Yes. Darryl Strawberry
Oh,
involved.
man.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Goodness. Lorenzo.
Unfortunately, it's the Yankees on the wrong side of this, but when Tyler Austin gets his butt beat, I thought that was really great too.
Joe
Yep.
Kelly Fight Club, baby.
Yankees Red
Uh,
Sox.
Yeah. Jason.
Yeah.
84 Braves Padres, classic brawl, just an all-out baseball war that night. So yeah, Braves Padres 84, good stuff.
I can't. My favorite one. I can't even remember who the other team was, but Red Sox, Plunks, and the guys coming out to the mound, and Mo Vaughn comes out of the screen out of nowhere and just absolutely annihilates the dude. I think it. I want to say it was Greg Vaughn, but it wasn't Greg Vaughn. It was someone else. It was another big guy. But Mo Vaughn just comes out of the left screen and just cleans him out. It was awesome. But awesome. All right.
We didn't even talk about Yasser Puig taking on the entire Pirates team.
Yeah,
That was a good one too back a few years ago.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, John Temple Ventura getting beat up by Grandpa. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, so to kind of go into the brawl type category here, max velocity is at an all-time high. Should retaliation pitches be eliminated? And by eliminated, I mean like first guy that gets hit, like boom, you're gone. Lorenzo.
Yeah, with today's velocity, retaliation with a fastball 100% should be completely off the table. You need to be able to protect our guys, so we can't not let the pitcher hit. If their guys been coming up and in, they can't not let the pitcher protect their hitters and go up and in. So I don't think we need to throw out guys immediately. We need to be able to give more warnings in the game. But you got too many guys throwing 98, 102 that throwing a fastball up and in isn't a message anymore on a retaliation pitch. That's dangerous, and you can't justify doing that to somebody. If you're retaliating with the secondary pitch, absolutely less velocity. You're controlling where that ball is going a little bit more. That's part of the game. That's how you protect your hitters. You have entire pitching philosophies for teams that their entire approach is pitching up and in. If there's zero consequences for their own hitters facing a retaliation pitch or facing inside fastballs, they're going to keep doing it and they're going to keep letting them fly high up and in. And then you guys got Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts. You got these guys taking pitches on the hands that they shouldn't be getting thrown in up and in that much with that philosophy. And for my Yankees, you look at CC Sabathia a few years ago, he thought protecting his guys was so important that he foregone a $500,000 bonus to protect his guys because they were getting hit so much. The Yankees did the right thing and still gave him the bonus because they said, yeah, he fell an inning short because he got thrown out of a game, but he did the right thing and protect his batters. So organizations believe it's still the right thing to do. You just cannot retaliate with a fastball going 98. It has to be a secondary pitch.
Yeah. Jason.
Yeah, this is a tough one because umpires already throw out pitchers sometimes when it wasn't intentional, and you're like, what's going on? So if we open it up to the first one, you're out of the game. I think it's just going to get crazy. On the other hand, a little bit to Lorenzo's point, guys now can throw, or to your point, 98, 100 miles an hour, and they can't really control it like guys used to be able to control it. So there were guys in the past that could throw a retaliation fastball, put it in your back, and knew exactly where that pitch was going, and the guy at the plate knew exactly where it was going. He was ready for it, and he was going to take it because he knew he was going to wear it. And now these guys are all over the place, and you can't throw it up and in and guarantee you're not going to bust somebody in the jaw. So I do think – I don't want to see it eliminated. I think it has a place. Baseball has always policed itself like this. Star players know, look, this guy got hit twice already. I'm going to wear one next time I come up. The only thing is some of these pitchers are not capable of throwing that secondary pitch in the location it needs to go. And if they throw a fastball, it's going to hurt. So I'm really kind of torn. At the end of the day, I don't want to see it eliminated, but I do think there has to be maybe umpires need to be instructed about paying more attention to what's actually going on in the game. In that game with the Angels and Braves, Ronaldo Lopez was absolutely not throwing at Jorge Soler. There was a misunderstanding when they started jawing at each other, and they both ended up getting thrown out of the game. And that's what I'm talking about. The umpires need to pay more attention and be held more accountable in those situations, but I would not eliminate the retaliation pitch.
All right, Rob.
Oh, I definitely would not eliminate retaliation. I grew up with a different kind of baseball, right? They retaliated, and Jason, I respect what you said about control, but listen, Nolan Ryan couldn't always control that fastball, okay? And he was throwing at people. It's different now because the pitchers do not bat. So it was different then because we had a guest on, John D'Acquisto, and he told us about the time he battled it out with Bob Gibson. They were throwing at each other for the whole game. And like I think we told you guys, they also got in a fight in the elevator. That's how baseball was. You know, baseball always had the brush back. I think it's needed. I think, you know, I think baseball's gotten too soft now. I understand they're throwing, you know, high 90s, some guys over 100. I understand that. And there's a lot of investment in these players. So that's what's different. You know, when you're paying somebody, you know, Soto that much money, you don't want them plunked with a fastball. But I don't think they should take retaliation pitches away. No.
All right. Chris?
Yeah, I don't think you could take it away. And I think also, too, like it's going to be hard to prove that somebody was, you know, throwing at somebody, you know, to hurt them or something like that. So I don't think you could take it away. It's a part of the game. And you know what? These guys, yeah, the guys are throwing a lot harder, but these guys are also built a lot bigger too. So you know what? The pitchers should be able to, if you're trying to hit the guy and to send a message, yeah, I would hope they're not going to throw at the guy's head or at the guy's hands. At least try to throw, I think like Jason mentioned, in the back or in the hip area is probably the best area, right? Because there's good meat in that section, right? So I think as long as the pitcher knows where he's throwing it, and I think the majority do, you know, when it comes to just a fastball at someone's back or hip or something like that to send the message, then I think it's okay. I think if you throw at someone's face and, you know, something like that, where you're going to really hurt the guy, he's going to be out for, you know, a big length of time, or even if you know, God forbid, if you end his career, yeah, then I think that guy should see some kind of punishment, the pitcher. But otherwise, yeah, you can't eliminate it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen examples where throwing behind the batter works almost better than plunking the dude, right? Get it in his mind. Like, don't get comfortable in that box. Like, I'll throw one behind you. I'll buzz it behind. I don't even have to hit you. I'll just throw a ball to the backstop behind you. Just make you move your feet. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to give points to Lorenzo and Rob. I thought your example, Lorenzo, about CC Sabathia was great. That was an unreal situation about how he just gave up the bonus to do that. And Rob, two of your points about the players being investments. I think that's a huge part of this. Is all clubs, all 30 MLB teams don't want to see their guys get hit in retaliation because of the risk of injury, right? Off the hands, off the rib cage, out for a month, right? These guys make too much money. They're not players anymore. They are investments. Great point. And then the pitchers not batting is the other part of that, right? Pitchers can't police pitchers because, well, I'm seeing Shohei Ohtani instead of, you know, Blake Snell, right? So that's great points. So yeah, so Lorenzo and Rob. Yeah, so we got a couple comments in the chat. Lupin Ellis had hit one of my guys. I'm hitting two of yours. Again, different game back then. Yeah, John Carter, 100% no, it should not be eliminated. Needs to be there to police players. Also, get off my lawn. And yeah, stay away from the head. Yep. And word of Major League, Jesus, we better teach this kid some control before he kills somebody. 1,000%. And that's what it is right now. For sure. All right. On to second base. And there's probably going to be some interesting takes in here. I can't wait to get to this one. Who's hot? Who's not? Starting with Jason, who is the best team with a losing record?
Yeah, I really wanted to say the Mets, but I'm not going to. I'm going with one of the obvious ones, I think. I'm going with Seattle. I think the Mariners, you know, defending division champs, they made it to the ALCS, breath away from the World Series. And yes, they are struggling, but they've still only allowed 95 runs this year, which is 8th best in the majors. Despite the offensive struggles, they're still a +1 run differential. And I just do not believe that their offense can stay this bad the entire season. We're still in mid-April. There's a long way to go. So I think Seattle is going to get it together, and I think they're the best team with a losing record right now.
All right. Rob.
I'm going to go with the Houston Astros because they already scored 135 runs so far. I mean, they could score some runs. They have strong offense. Listen, Alvarez is elite, 330 average, 10 home runs, 24 RBIs in limited action. Altuve, 3 home runs. Korea, I think they just got off to a slow start. And with that offense, I think that they're the best team with a losing record so far.
How many runs they giving up there, Rob? How many runs are they?
A lot. They've given up.
Negative 15 run differential right now.
All right. I just want to put that out there. Let me get out.
Yeah, their AA staff got called up to the majors because their entire top 2 levels are injured. But Chris.
I'm going to go with the Phillies. I think they're 7-15 or something. I mean, other than Harper and Schwarber, they're getting no offense from nobody on that team, right? Crawford's hitting okay. He's a rookie, but I mean, everybody else on that team. Alec Boehm is batting 128 on the season. Trey Turner, 234. Bryson Scott, 210. I mean, that's just awful. Garcia, 210 as well. And then you got the pitching. I mean, Zach Wheeler's been out, and he's coming back this weekend. I think that's going to help out big time there. I know Duran is out in the bullpen, so that's going to hurt them. But I think this team is going to go on a run here at some point. Maybe with Wheeler coming back, maybe in another week after he has a couple of starts in. But I think this team is just getting ready to go on a hot streak. And they're going to try to tighten up that division with the Braves kind of running away with it right now.
I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure a 210 batting average is top 5 in the league at this point.
Yeah, top 10.
Sure.
Top 10.
Top 10. All right. Okay.
Right up there. Yeah, it's right up there.
All right, Lorenzo.
Yeah, I thought about pandering to our host and picking the Red Sox, but I'm not.
Please don't.
Going the Miami Marlins, who are basically a 500 team with a neutral run deficit. They're just 1 game under 500, and they have a really balanced roster, and the record shows it. They have 4 guys on that team that all have OPSs over 140 that are in the heart of that lineup that aren't household names through the entire baseball community, but they need to be. And Kyle Stowers, Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards, and Liam Hicks. Those guys are ballers who all have K percentages in the team. The highest K percentage of any of them is 16.5. That's ridiculous. In today's baseball, that's not that's production and it's contact. It's crazy in today's baseball what these guys are doing. They're 7th in average as a team, 8th in OBP, 6th in OPS, 3rd in steals. So they're beating you in a multitude of ways. They are scoring at the league average 4.5 runs a game and being 25th in home runs. So the power is not even there, and they're still maintaining league averages because they're a pressure team that's constantly putting pressure on these guys. The bullpen's dominant, and the bullpen's one of my favorite things to look at. They're 1st in K rate, 1st in hits per 9, 1st in home runs per 9. When they're giving those games to the bullpen, they are closing those games out, and that's huge for these teams. They are bad in walks, but they are picking their lanes, that they're attacking those hitters. And who doesn't love vintage Sandy, right? When you have a vintage Sandy, you got to love this team regardless. That guy's going deep in the games. It's a lot of fun. The team's completely balanced. It's deep, elite bullpen. They're going to be staying around a few games over 500 all year. I think they're the best team with a losing record.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Jason and Lorenzo here. The Mariners I'm going to be frank, they're tough to watch right now, right? They seem to be lost. Cal Raleigh has started to turn it around. It looks like it, knock on wood. So hopefully that kind of rights the ship for the Mariners there. So I'm with you there. And I love the Marlins pick. I've been high on the Marlins because they play that different kind of baseball. So I'm with you on those two. So 10 points for Lorenzo and Jason. All right. So let's flip the script. And who is the worst team with a winning record? And we start back up the top with Rob.
I'm going to say the A's. Their starting rotation is weak, high ERA, not a lot of home run power, closer by committee, and that home field. I mean, come on, guys. They got to get out of there. They got to get to Vegas really fast. That's ridiculous. Manager Katse, he's really not good with the bullpen. Doesn't make smart moves, and they have a low payroll, so we know they're not gonna stay where they are right now. So I'm gonna go with the A's.
All right, Chris.
I'm going to go with the Twins. I don't know how they're winning games now. I mean, offensively, when you look at that lineup, it's just not good. You know, you got guys. Yeah, that's right. That helps. That definitely helps. Offensively, other than Buxton, nobody really there is hitting. Is really hitting that well. And when you look at the rotation, that's what's really keeping them alive. But I just can't see it being sustainable over a whole season. I know Joe Ryan is really good. He's the real deal. But I don't see Taj Bradley pitching to a 1.6 ERA for the rest of the season. Bailey Ober is solid, but Woods Richardson, I don't see these guys, sustaining what they're doing now, right? So I don't think they're even going to be above 500 by the end of the season. They'll probably be third in that division at least.
All right, Lorenzo.
For me, it's the St. Louis Cardinals. They're currently 14-10, have a negative run differential. Immediately the first red flag that you're getting a little lucky when you have that negative run differential and you have 4 wins over 500. The pitching just isn't good. They're bottom 10 in ERA, whips, hits per 9, homers per 9, and they're dead last in K per 9. So these are guys that are relying on the defense. Now the Cardinals have an excellent defense, but they're relying on them for all 27 outs. And that's just not sustainable over the course of a year. And when you look at the bullpen, they're bottom 5 in ERA, whip, again, strikeouts. So there's no safety net coming at the end of that ball game. When you put those relievers in, they're going to give up runs. So that's how you're going to lose games late. Jordan Walker has been a star, though, on the offensive side. The guy's done a lot of heavy lifting, way over his career average in OPS, his career norms. He's playing way above his back of the baseball card, which if you're looking at what he's doing, you kind of foresee him doing that. You guy's a good ball player. But if he cools at all, what does that lineup look like? How much can J.J. Weatherholt and Mason Wynn carry that team if Jordan Walker's not hitting at MVP levels? And I just think the bad pitching just catches up to him at the end of the day. I don't think they're built to sustain the 162, so they're my worst team with a winning record.
All right, Jason.
I think those are all good picks. I'm going with Guardians. They have a negative 6 run differential. Their expected win-loss is actually 12-14, and they've scored 12 runs less than the Twins, and they've played 3 more games than Minnesota. I just don't think it's sustainable over the long haul. I still think Detroit's the class of that division, and they'll end up showing it. I don't like the Guardians offensively to stay consistent enough, and scoring less than the Twins with 3 extra games played, to me, says a lot about that offense.
Yeah, all great points. We got Dodgers in the comments. I mean, love that. Then we got John says, "Oh, it's my Twins. It's not close. I still maintain it's going to be the worst bullpen in history by the end of the year." Yeah. John says, "Ace Athletics can mash and just went 60+% hard hit balls last series versus Mariners, but they have no pitching." To Rob's point. I'm going to give points to Rob and Chris. I think the A's. Listen, I was high on the A's. Jason, I think you were high on the A's too at the beginning of the season. But I mean, to what you said, Rob, the pitching, the AAA ballpark, it doesn't play for them, unfortunately, and they do need to get out of there ASAP because they have a good thing going. They have a great core. They just need a different ballpark for sure. And then Chris, I'm giving you the points for the Twins. I think they're playing above everybody's heads right now, right? All of us picked them to be 4th or 5th in the division. They essentially have a AAA lineup out there with some big league pitching. So, so I'm going Athletics and Twins there, but all valid teams for sure. All right. Going into third base, we'll take a recap at the scores. We got Rob with 25. We got Chris with 20. We got Lorenzo with 25. And we got Jason with 20. So the game is still up for grabs. So what if, and this is a very, very broad question. I would love to see where you go with it. We've talked about this on our show quite a bit. Who is the biggest what if in MLB history? Chris.
All right. My guy is actually still playing right now. But it's Mike Trout, right? And I'm going to tell you why. I looked at his first 9 seasons. right before COVID, and that's when he really started missing games. But his first 9 seasons, you could compare his first 9 seasons pretty closely with all the other great center fielders in this game, whether it's Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle, right? Or even Ty Cobb for that matter. But home run wise, he would be beating Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle through their first 9 seasons. He had the highest OPS of those 3 guys. OPS plus, he was also the highest out of those guys. He had the highest WAR out of those guys as well in his first 9 seasons. But after the first 9 seasons, COVID hit in 2020, played 53 games. 2021, played 36 games. 2022, he played in only 119 games, but he also hit 40 home runs and 80 RBIs that year. 2023, he played 82 games. 2024, played 29 games. Last year, had a pretty decent year, played 130 games, still missed a bunch of games. So with all those missed games, I mean, this guy would be right up there with Willie Mays as the greatest center fielder of all time. Instead, he's still pretty good, right? He's still like the 5th greatest center fielder of all time, and that's probably where he's going to end up. But, you know, you're talking about a guy who could have been in the same – he's still kind of in that same conversation with Willie Mays, but he really would have been right neck and neck with Willie Mays with his career numbers. He probably would have hit, you know, around 600 home runs and, you know, probably stolen bases, 500-600 as well. So I think he's a huge what if, and he's still going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, top 5 center fielder of all time, without a doubt. And he's still one of the biggest what if stories in baseball.
Yeah. Lorenzo.
For me, it's Jose Fernandez, right? In the 4 seasons that Jose Fernandez played in, he had a 13 WAR, 2.58 ERA, 150 ERA plus. He was already Rookie of the Year, 2-time All-Star, and he was only 23 years old before he was passing. He led the league in strikeouts per 9 his last year, and we were watching a generational ace. Everybody that was watching him, he was much watch TV every time Jose Fernandez touched that ball. And it was so much of a what if for now. It changed an organization, right? The Marlins core at that time was Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich, Marcelo Zuna, JT Realmuto, and they just got Don Mattingly as their coach. That was a real window that the Marlins had, but unfortunate passing of Jose Fernandez, that window disappeared, and within 2 years, it was a full fire sale of that team. That's how big of a what-if Jose Fernandez was. This team went from being second place in the NL East to finishing last, fire sale. You guys don't even remember that you guys wore Marlins jerseys at the time. So other players, those were individual guys. This impacted an entire organization. So that's why I think Jose Fernandez is the biggest what-if.
Great one. Jason.
Yeah, I'm going to give you mine, but first I got to say it's, you know, in my mind, it's Jose Fernandez. And I'll just add to real quick what Lorenzo said. In those 4 seasons, he was 38-17. He had a 2.58 ERA. He was Rookie of the Year. He was 3rd in Cy Young voting his rookie year. He came back from injury and had a 4.4 WAR year. He was ridiculous. He had 589 Ks in those 4 seasons, easily a 2,500 to 3,000 K pace. So all that being said, I love Jose Fernandez. I vividly remember that terrible day when we found out what happened. And that it's just one of the biggest tragedies to me in the history of baseball. My guy, though, since Fernandez is taken, I will go with Ryan Howard. I think Ryan Howard is, with the injuries, it's a shame of what he could have done. Howard was on pace to do some special things home run wise. He hit his 250th home run in his 855th game, which was at the time surpassed Ralph Kiner as the quickest player in history to reach that milestone. He had a franchise record for the Phillies of 5 consecutive 30-homer, 100 RBI seasons. He had a 58-homer, a 48-homer, a 47-homer season over the course of 4 seasons. I mean, he was just killing the ball. Then he had an Achilles injury and some other stuff happened. And, Ryan Howard might be up there in the top 5 of the home run all-time list, if not for those injuries. So Ryan Howard's my guy, but, man, Jose Fernandez holds a special place for me.
Yeah. Rob.
Mine is Darryl Strawberry, Rookie of the Year. His first 9 seasons, 8 with the Mets, 1 with the Dodgers, he was an all-star. every year. 280 home runs in that 9-year stretch, 832 RBIs. And I'm sorry, 8 consecutive years he was an All-Star. I'm sorry, from 84 to 91. If he didn't do the drugs, he would have been definitely in the Hall of Fame and one of the best outfielders in baseball history. He had such a sweet swing, and he could just hit. But unfortunately, he was a young kid in New York. He partied. That team was full of partying. And, with him and Doc, another one who could go on that list, by the way, it's just a shame. Darryl Strawberry should definitely be in the Hall of Fame, but he touched the drugs, and it just ruined him.
Yeah, I actually did a full series on all 30 MLB teams' what ifs, and you guys literally nailed all of them. Except the Mets, I picked David Wright because of the back, but I mean Darryl Strawberry I was juggling between those two. So, I mean, these are all incredible. My personal one for a Red Sox fan is Tony Conigliaro. Just getting hit in the face. I mean, derailed. He was the fastest player to 100. I think he had the most home runs as a teenager. Like, he had the career. But the biggest one for me staying in the modern era is Josh Hamilton. That guy was an absolute beast, but the same way, like the drugs, 4 homer games all over the place. The dude was an absolute monster in the box. But yeah, he's my biggest what if. But since I am feeling gracious, and the Mets really need a win more than ever, I'm giving the points to Rob for Darryl Strawberry. I love that. So 20 points, and makes him the clearing the bases champion. So Rob, any final words before we depart?
Yeah, the Mets just blew another lead.
God.
And we have some comments real quick about the last question.
Oh yeah. John says Fernandez's death set the Marlins back 10 years. Don't do drugs. Yeah. Lyman Bostock.
That's another one.
Yep. Yeah.
If you
Conigliaro.
Yep.
Eric Davis. That's a good one. Eric Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
Tony
somebody
C.
said
Eric
Matt.
Davis.
Somebody said Matt Harvey. Where did that go? Someone said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That one's out there too.
Oh,
I mean, injuries,
Nico said it. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
Matt Harvey for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's so many, and like I put Ken Griffey on the what if list too.
Yep.
Yeah.
He could be the GOAT if
Yeah.
he didn't get injured. Like, think about that. I mean, I understand his stats are still astronomically ridiculous, but just think about it. Like, if he's healthy his last 8 to 10 years, he is the GOAT. So,
Another guy that could have been the GOAT, Mickey Mantle.
He's the home run
right?
king.
Yeah.
yeah.
But he's
Modern
not really a what if.
medicine. The guy played on one leg his entire career.
But he's not a what if because he's in the Hall of Fame and he's one of the greatest center
So was
fielders.
Griffey, but I mean, they could have done more. I
They
mean,
could have been even
Griffey would be
better.
the all-time home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lou Gehrig. If you want to add guys like
Mhm.
that.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
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 Oh, awesome. My mom's tuning in. Thanks,
You
Mom.
was Joe
Appreciate the
Jackson.
support.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Like, you can go era by era, generation by generation. There's so many, but
Yeah.
I love that argument because, like, we try to pick a new one each time that we talk about it. Byron Buxton from John Carter. Yeah, that
Yeah.
dude. We talk about him quite a bit. He is a perennial 40-40 threat, right? And he just can't stay on the field. But yeah, he's a huge one. Yeah, John says Griffey doesn't tear his hammy, and Sensi he goes 100 and 150 more homers. Easy. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there's so many.
Yep. So awesome. All right. Anything else, fellas, for the rest of Clearing the Bases crew?
Another great show, guys. Had
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
All right. You've been listening to Clearing the Bases. The bases are empty. There's no runners left, just bad takes that ABS can't fix. And we'll see you in the top of the 5th inning next Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Have a good week.
See you then.